Ryan, two players that Celtic are apparently close to getting over the line. Joel Mvuka and Junior Adamu. One of the guys in the comments says that the two of them must be having, just he says, two lads must be having some medical. It's been a while now. Is there any news from Celtic Park?
Yeah, just before I start, Dan, my iPhone is about to run out of battery, so if I suddenly disappear, that's the reason why.
Right, no worries.
Yeah, but obviously we spoke to Martin O'Neill after yesterday's game, and he did confirm that the two players were undergoing medicals, and it deals with were close. So obviously Joe Mvuka. I think a deal has been agreed in the region of £3 to £4 million. Obviously, Martin O'Neill said last week that he was in the market for an explosive winger, and it seems that Mvuka fits the bill. He's Norwegian. I think, obviously made his name at Bodo Glimt. That's when he first kind of burst onto the scene. And it hasn't quite worked out for him in France. I think he's only made a handful of appearances in League One this season. So, yeah, Celtic are clearly see potential in him. He's still only 23 as well. So it kind of ticks a lot of the boxes which Celtic look for in terms of profiles. And yeah, he's obviously the winger that Celtic have been crying out for. Sean Maloney said that they had been searching far and wide for a specific winger as well. So it looks like Mvuka fits that bill. Obviously, they were also linked with Gedjumis and Redzik, but those deals appear to be off the table now. So yeah, Mvuka looks to be the one that's almost through the door. Junior Adamu as well. There's a loan deal that's been agreed for him with Freiburg. I think there's just a hurdle of an option to buy at the minute, which Celtic are negotiating. But again, he comes with decent pedigree. He's an Austria international, a former RB Salzburg striker. He had a decent spell in Austria with them. He's had a couple of loan options in the table this window, but it looks like he's decided to go to Celtic. Again, he's 24. He'll add something different for Celtic up front. Obviously, they've got Kelechi and Acho and Thomas Chavangara at the minute. Chavangara made an excellent start to his Celtic career. He's obviously getting an assist at Tynecastle. He scored yesterday. So he'll be another option to add up front, which Celtic are desperately needing at the minute. In terms of other positions that Celtic are looking to strengthen, I think a central defender is on the wish list. Obviously, that would depend on Stephen Welsh. Will be watching that one closely, as well Motherwell, because if Celtic can get a central defender in, then the Martin O'Neill will allow Stephen Welsh to go back to Motherwell on loan for the rest of the season. I think what Celtic really are looking for would be a temporary deal. You remember Moritz Jens joining Celtic, I think in 22, 23, I think it might have been, on loan for 6 months. I think that type of deal is what Celtic would like. But if they can't get it over the line, then there's no way that they're going to sanction a loan move for Stephen Welsh back to Motherwell, because obviously they are depleted of defensive options. Cameron Carter-Vickers is out for the season, so you need at least 4 fit centre-backs, and Stephen Welsh should be the 4th one, alongside Dave Murray, Liam Scales and Austin Trusty. So that's kind of where Celtic are at the minute. In terms of outgoings as well, Nottingham Forest have had a couple of bids rejected for Arne Engels, the latest one being £17 million. Celtic have made it clear that they don't want to sell Arne Engels. Obviously, he's the record signing. They bought him from £11 million from Osborg 18 months ago. So they could make a decent profit, £6 million. He's a player that's divided opinion amongst the Celtic fans. His goal contributions have dipped this season, but he's a player that Martin O'Neill values highly, and at this stage in the window, Celtic don't want to lose him. Had a bid come in of this size earlier in the window, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. Celtic's thinking may have changed, but at the minute, they've got absolutely no plans to sell Arne Engels. And Nottingham Forest have actually moved on as well. It looks like they've had a bid rejected for Middlesbrough midfielder Aidan Hackney earlier this morning as well. So it looks like they are now exploring other options. And finally, Johnny Kenny as well. He's going to fall further down the pecking order now with Celtic bolstering an attack. He's got options down south and up north as well. Obviously, Bolton had tried to sign him in the summer, and they could potentially renew their interest as well. So yeah, there's a lot happening at Celtic Park just now. There's no black Mercedes behind me yet, but I'm sure it will be a matter of time before the signings are through the door.
Just
Ryan,
before
Ryan,
go on, Bumsy. Sorry, go on.
Ryan, there was an ambulance went flying past when you said spending big money.
Who knows? That could have been the medical getting finished off. Who knows? Ryan, in case we lose you with your battery struggling out there, and maybe we can let you go up the road and get your feet warmed up. Before that, though, what's your take on the Engels thing? Because like Arne Engels is a player that I think is always taken a bit of a stick unduly. I think because of his big price tag. I think he's a decent player. I'm not saying he's Maradona or anything, but I always think he's a good player that's contributed well. But 20 million euros for him, I mean, that is a lot of money.
Yeah, I think, as I said, Dan, had this bid arrived earlier in the window, I think Celtic would have seriously considered it. They would have been daft not to. A lot of people would have said that I'd question whether Celtic would even recoup their money for Arne Engels, which I thought was harsh. I think he's done okay at Celtic since he arrived from the Bundesliga last season. As I said, he does split opinion, but he has played every game under Martin O'Neill since he's come back. He's clearly highly valued by Martin O'Neill. He made it clear last night that he wasn't for sale. So I think if Nottingham Forest are tabling this type of money in January, then surely Celtic will be able to hold out for that kind of sum come the summer. So I think they'd be wise to keep hold of Arne Engels. I don't actually think they've got that many great midfield options, if I'm being honest. I know that a central defender is an area that Celtic are targeting, but I've said it consistently during this window. I do believe that Celtic are lacking a dynamic midfielder. I feel, if you go to Ibrox, you go to Tynecastle, I think that Celtic can get overrun at times in midfield. Callum McGregor's 32. He's been excellent, but he's not getting any younger. Benjamin Nygren's chipped in with some excellent goals. He's Celtic's top goal scorer, and he's made a significant contribution. But again, he comes in and out of games at times. And Arne Engels is a bit of an enigma. 1 minute he can be excellent, the next he can be found wanting. So I think Celtic are looking for a real Hatate in his prime, for example. I think Hatate's been off the boil for quite some time, and if Celtic can get somebody like him at his prime when he first came to the club, then I think that's exactly what they're missing. I think they definitely need a bit of energy in midfield, because at times when you watch Celtic, they just seem so leggy. And for me, that should be a priority position.